Okay, first lesson of the new year, polynomials and operations on polynomials. You kind of know about both of these, and you know about both of these together. So this is not really that difficult. But people do miss some questions about polynomials. And the main thing is it has non-negative integer exponents. An easier way to say that is what it can't have. So it can't have a fraction, and it can't have a negative. And sometimes that looks, it's like hiding there, because that square root of x, I guess if you didn't really know algebra, you'd say, well, I don't see any fractions or negatives there, but you know that the square root of x is the same thing as x to the 1/2, so that's not a polynomial. And same thing with 1 over x squared. You're like, oh, that exponent isn't negative, and it's not a fraction, except it kind of is negative, because 1 over x squared is x to the negative 2, so that's not a polynomial. And then anything else, logs, cosine, sine, that stuff's not polynomials. So a polynomial is x raised to a power where the power is a positive integer. Degree, I think you know this term, is the highest power for all the terms. Be careful with sum of powers. I don't like that. It's the highest power after multiplication. Maybe that's a better way to say that. Here's what I mean, or an example of that. If I have x squared times x cubed plus 1, if all I say is what's the highest power you see? 3. But what's the degree of that? It's not 3. What do I get after I distribute that x squared? X to the 5th plus x squared. So that's degree 5. So that's what we mean by sum of powers. I think it's probably easier to just say, what's the highest power after you distribute or multiply? So that question will get some people. If it's multiplied out, no problem, you know what the degree is. If it's not multiplied out, sometimes people just have in their brain, oh, highest power, 3, got it. Well, not really. Highest power once it's multiplied out. All right, some fancy names. You can name it according to the degree, or you can name it according to the number of terms. And these are separate tables. I wish we had done a better job like separating these. So if the degree is 0, which might be weird, but if it's just a 5, that's still a polynomial, but it's a constant. Nothing's changing. If the degree is 1, so maybe we have 2x plus 5. Well, that's a line. You know what that is. I think you know what the next one is as well. If the degree is 2, so if we have x squared plus 2x plus 5, that would be a quadratic. And if there's an x cubed, what do we call that? Cubic. So we've probably used those words. The next two words might be new, but you might be able to figure out what they are based on the, maybe, I don't know. If we have x to the 4th.
Rationals? Exponential?
It starts with a word that means 4. Oh, those are good guesses. So quad means 4. Tetra sometimes means 4. Your chemistry throwing in here. It's actually easier than that, but a quarter means 4, so this is a quartic. Well, those were good guesses, though, using your prefix knowledge there. And what about to the 5th? Do you know what they called it when 5 babies are born at once? You got twins, you got triplets.
Penta. It has to be penta.
It's not penta. That's good, though, because penta means 5, so you're on the right track. But if there's 5 babies born at once, they're quints or quintuplets. So this is a quintic. Quintuplets. Okay, that's based on the degree. But we can also name them based on the number of terms. 1, mono, these are a little bit easier. 2, bi, that's 2. I guess we should put some examples here. So a monomial would be like 3x squared. A binomial would be 5x to the 7th minus 12. So it doesn't matter the powers, it only matters how many terms there are. Trinomial, if there are 3 terms. 4, it's I think you used this 4 prefix earlier. Quadrinomial. And I think it is a quintinomial. Honestly, I looked it up a minute ago. Quintinomial. ChatGPT. Because I was like, well, I don't remember using those terms. And I was confirmed because these are Greek-based words that exist. So quadrinomial, quintinomial. But they're very rarely used in standard math curricula. So we're not really going to use those. But, I mean, they're quintinomial. Like, yes, but we don't ever really say those. Once it gets past 3, we usually just say polynomial with blank number of terms. 5 terms, 7 terms, whatever. So those words exist, but you don't have to know them. So for an example, let's see, 4x cubed minus 12x. Name that 2 different ways. So name it according to degree, and then name it according to terms. So what degree is it? Cubic. And how many terms are there? Careful, how many terms are there? 2. So that's a cubic binomial. Why don't you try those 2? This is not difficult, but you just want to make sure we know these terms. So name those 2 things by degree and name it by terms. 2x squared minus 7x plus 4, and then just 7x to the 4th. So that looks like 4 different spots to claim there. So Hayden, how about the degree of number 2? Quadratic. And Mia, how many terms are there? Or what would we call that based on the number of terms? A trinomial. So that's a quadratic trinomial. Aiden, how about the degree of this guy? Quartic. And Ava, how many terms are there? Or what would we call it by number of terms? monomial. Okay, let's do a few together. Today's assignment is this next worksheet. Should look familiar. Some of you are going to just start racing through, which is fine. I want to work a few together. So looking at number 5, why would I circle number 5? What are we going to have to be careful about there? Distribute the minus sign. So let's see, 7b squared minus 4b squared, that would be 3b squared. 6b doesn't have any like terms, so just plus 6b. And then the one we're worried about, the one that people might mess up. What do I get for the constant term? Minus 5. So negative 7 plus 2 is minus 5. Stuff you've seen before, but stuff that sometimes we forget about or mess up at distributing the minus sign. Why don't you try number 6? Simple. I don't know. Hopefully simple. You do not have to worry about that. That only applies to 1 through 4. State the degree of the polynomial. Although that would be a second degree. All right, for number 6, looks like we'll get 2 terms, so I'll get 2 volunteers. Ease you back in with the popsicle sticks. Corinna, you ready for that first term?
Is it 8x cubed?
8x cubed. Madison, how about the second one? 4xy. Let's skip ahead to number 10. Negative exponent. I guess there's 2 ways to handle that. You could leave it as x to the negative 2, or you could rewrite it as 1 over x squared. I think I would probably just leave it as x to the negative 2 to start with. Still need to distribute it. So Brooklyn will give you the hardest one of the day so far. What do I get when I do x to the negative 2 times x to the 4th?
X to the 2.
Yep. How did you get that?
4 minus 2.
Good. That works. The only other way you could get that, I suspect, I guess, is you could make that 1 over x squared, and then x to the 4th over x squared would be x squared. But Brooklyn just added the negative 2 and the 4 to get 2. Kinley, how about that next term? If I multiply x to the negative 2 times negative 3x cubed.
Negative 3x?
Good. Negative 3x. Then, no pressure. X to the negative 2 times x to the negative 1.
X to the negative.
Good. Good as in not wrong, but not finished yet. So that's not wrong, and what you said was right. What don't I like about that as an answer? A negative exponent. So, Emery, what's another way to say x to the negative 3? What does that mean?
Negative x to the 3.
What does a negative exponent do? OCN, what does a negative exponent do? You were trying to help out there. I is where you have a square root of a negative. But you said move it down. That's correct. It flips it over. So that x cubed goes to the bottom. So there's our best final answer. Fix that negative exponent. Is that a polynomial? This isn't part of the question, but it could be. Brooklyn's like, I don't think so. And that's not a polynomial. Why not? Yeah, it's got a negative exponent. That term right there means it's not a polynomial. The other two are good, but that term means that thing's not a polynomial. You don't have to answer that, but that's the type of question that will get some people on the test is this a polynomial or not? And they'll be like, oh, look, it's just x cubed, so that's fine. It's not fine because it's x to the negative 3. What's that? Well, it's not a polynomial, so you're not allowed to label it as a trinomial. Right? I see what you're saying. There's 3 terms. That's right. But you can only use the nomial stuff if it's a polynomial, and it's not a nomial at all. I guess you could say it's a binomial with an extra non-polynomial term, but we don't talk like that. It's just not a polynomial. Let's jump down to some other review stuff, like number 15. Handling all those negative exponents. So what does a negative exponent do? Flips it. Before we start flipping things, what do you want to do first? Remember, that's always kind of a question on these. Is like, do you want to fix the inside stuff, or do you want to distribute the negative 3? Okay, I think I heard most people say negative 3. So 5 to the negative 3. Max, when I say handle the negative 3, what becomes of this a? Like, what do I do with, what's that? Multiply. So that would be a to the 21st, b to the negative 6. I'm getting some negative exponents, so I'll have to fix those in a minute, but like one thing at a time here. Let's don't try to do too many things at once. Well, hold on a minute. I got that negative 3 needs to go to everything.
Oh, shoot.
So that's b to the 18th. Yeah, I saw what you were looking at. Okay, so, goodness. What do I do with that 5? Flip it. And do you know what 5 cubed is? Very nice. So 125 in the bottom. Angelina, how about the A's? What becomes of the A's? How many and where? Okay, and how many will there be? Careful. That A to the 3rd goes to the top. 24. Yeah. So it'll be 3 in the top. We'll have A to the 24. Elisa, how about the B's? And where? So B to the 24 in the denominator. And so we're down to 15. Okay, lots of review stuff. Hopefully not too difficult. Get your brain back going. So the assignment is that worksheet through 19. You've still got some time to work on it in here, 20 minutes or so. And yeah, it's just through 19. So maybe finish before you leave and not have any math homework day 1. Yeah. Oh yeah, 9's kind of ugly because what's it going to take to do 9? Yeah, I need to distribute the A to everybody and then the B to everybody. So I'm going to draw it out and color code it and everything. So I'm going to multiply the A to everybody, and then I'll multiply the B to everybody, and then I'll see, I might even have like terms after that. So after the first pass, how many terms am I going to have before I look to combine? I'll have 6. And maybe some things will combine, we'll see. So the A to everybody would be, I'm going to start over here to the left because I got 6 terms to fit in here. A to the 4th minus 3a squared b minus ab squared. That's the A stuff. And then the B to everybody, A cubed B minus 3 AB squared minus B cubed. Now I got to look super carefully. Do I have any like terms in there? Let's see. There's only one A to the fourth. A squared B. It's only one of those. AB squared. Yeah, I got 2 AB squared terms. So that'd be the only one I need to combine. So A to the fourth minus 3A squared B. I combine those two and I get Layla, you tell me, what do I get when I combine the two green terms there? I got minus 1 of them and then minus 3 of them. So how many of them do I have? -1 and -3? Make -4. Eli, you okay with that? What were we going to say about that? That is a quintinomial. That's true. I don't know that we would put a degree designation on it because it's like a 4th degree by A, but a 3rd degree by B. We would not put a degree designation on that.
If there's multiple variables,
We would never ask you to do it because, or maybe we'd specify, but we won't ask. But yeah, it is a quintinomial. Again, we're not going to force you to use that term. So, a lot of distributing, a lot of collecting like terms. This is like basic algebra stuff. Good review to start the semester. Anything else you looking at you want me to? 12 looks terrible. Fair. What are we going to have to do on 12? Yeah, but you can't do it all at once. Like if I ask you to multiply 3 times 4 times 5, yes, you can do that, but you have to do it 2 at a time. Like you can't just do it all at once. You would say 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 times 5 is 60. Kind of the same thing with number 12. I can't just do it all at once. I'm going to have to do those. Well, I can do any two you like, but it feels like doing the A's and B's first would be the better way to go. So FOIL the first two, clean it up, and then distribute the 2x minus y. So you got a little extra space for that one because you'll need it. 2a squared. If I peek ahead, I can see that the O and the I are going to be like terms. So I can do a little bit of work in my head here. 2ab plus 3ab is going to be 5ab.
Why would you put the A behind the B? You just put it by alphabetical.
I usually do it by alphabetical, but it wouldn't be wrong to call that 5ba. That'd be the same thing. It would look kind of funny to math teachers,
Yeah,
but it wouldn't be wrong.
I'm just going to do it alphabetically.
Most people do it alphabetically. And then now you gotta. So you either distribute each of these three, or you could kind of think of it the other way. I would multiply by the 2x. I would distribute the back one rather than the front one. And then distribute the y. So another one where I'll have 6 terms. And I don't think any of those terms will be like terms. No, just 6. Yeah, not 6, 7.
I never said that.
Can we leave 6, 7 in 2025? Can we all agree to do that? Is that fair?
We always said that.
You didn't say it, but you gave me the hand signal for it. Yeah, I'm stopping there because I want you to work this problem, but there is more to go on number 12. Yep. Good. 2 in 4. Fernando, how about the second term? Okay. OCN, you see you're on the hook for the third term here in a minute. It'll be negative. Yep. Yes. And OCN, how about that last term? N cubed times n, how many n's is that? 4. And then you still got the p to the 4th. So there's number 7. Yeah, I think that one looked worse than it is. I guess we should still check, but there's no like terms. If there weren't like terms to begin with, it's not likely there's any like terms now. That's one where we would not ask you what degree that is, because I don't really know what the answer would be. Is it 8? Not really. Is it 4 by n and 4 by... Yeah, we wouldn't ask that question. We skipped through 1 through 4. Are you okay with whether those are polynomials or not?
What do you write?
Well, if it is, state the degree. So number 1, is that a yes or a no? Yes. And what about its degree? 3. It's a cubic, but it's third degree or degree 3. So I guess I would accept cubic, 3, or third for that answer. Why is number 2 not a polynomial? Right, there's a fraction power, because that 1/2 means that's not a polynomial. Elisa? Yeah, let's breeze through 3 and 4 real quick here. What about 3? Yes or no? Why is it a no?
There's a negative exponent.
Negative exponent. A couple of them. And number 4? Yes, and its degree? 5. Because the highest power is 5. Don't worry about the coefficients. Don't care about the number of terms. The highest power is 5. Elisa, which one did you ask for? 19. Oh yeah, that's kind of a tricky one. So I got q to the 41 on the left. That's kind of weird. What do I do with 4k and 5 on the right hand side? Add them. So that's q to the 4k plus 5. 4k plus 5. So now do you see what to do with those? If q to the 41 equals q to the 4k plus 5, then 41's got to equal 4k plus 5. And now you've got a algebra 1 type question there. So it used algebra 2 to simplify, and now it turned into an algebra 1 question.
Wait, you divided everything by 8. Or
No, I didn't divide by anything. That's a q. But if q to the 41 equals q to the 4k plus 5, then those two things have to be equal to each
that
other.
was an 8.
Yeah, 6 in B and 8 in Q. I'll work on that. It's a Q. If it'd be the same if it was an 8,
That
though.
was an 8.
If they were both 8s, it'd still be the same thing.
You could have just gone from 40 down.
So what is that? 36 equals 4K.
Oh yeah.
K equals 9.
Don't do it. Stop.
4K, you think about like the TVs that are
No.
4K TVs?
Remember one of my friends saying 4K, 4K, 4K? Yes. So I wasn't playing 4K.